Our guest is already in studio, and I just want to pass the ball to him, allow him to introduce himself, tell us his name, what he loves doing, why he is in this particular space, where he is empowering persons with disabilities. Good afternoon. No, it's still morning. Good morning, Cosmos.
Good morning to you.
Karibu sana pa radio.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, introduce yourself. Mimi najua tu jina moja, najua Cosmos.
All right, thank you so very much for having me. My name is Cosmos Julius. Cosmos is a visually impaired person. We call ourselves VIP squared. That means like I'm a visually impaired, but I'm equally a very important person.
Yes.
Cosmos is an MC. I'm a visually impaired MC in Kenya currently. Only one MC VI in the country at the moment.
That is beautiful.
And we're in this space of PWDs, trying to make it kieleweke. Yes.
Other than just being an MC, and I'm doing so much in this space, where you're empowering persons with disabilities, what else do you do?
Well, I'm a founder of an NGO called Maendeleo Walemavu Organization, whereby Maendeleo Walemavu Organization does a lot of advocacy matters to do with disability. We do lobbying opportunities for people with disability. We do corporate trainings, disability inclusion trainings, and then we also do assessments to buildings and organizations that are disability friendly. Then we recommend to National Council for award.
Yes.
Yes.
And how did you get into this space? Yeah. How did you get into, hii space kubwa sana, you formed this, NGO, and it's doing so well. Ilianza aje?
Well, thank you so very much. This journey started way 7 years ago. I was involved in a road accident, whereby after the accident, actually got several injuries, but the worst was losing my sight. And over time, I realized that there is this other world of disability that people have not really don't talk much about it. And given that, I thank God that during the accident and after the accident, after acquiring now my visual impairment, it gave me a moment to interact with so very many people in different organizations that gave me a reason to accept myself and I can pick it up and roll it over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these organizations, so the government, part of this journey, it's just private organizations coming on board.
To be very honest, it is majorly the private organizations that are coming on board, but there are those activities that we are doing that the government usually comes in, like we can merge this and do together, because there's what the government can do and there's what we can do. But across the board, we've been involving the government so much because we belong to the government and the government is us.
Yes.
Yes.
And I just want you to tell the listener, because we have about 9 minutes to go for a very short break, we'll get some business news, but I want you to tell the listener what he or she should be expecting in the next hour when we are now delving, into this conversation, like the huge part of the conversation. In a nutshell, to expect Nini from your end.
Oh my goodness, so amazing, so amazing. One thing I want to tell guys is there's a lot that is coming on our way, and just as I said, I'm an MC, so you expect from a visually impaired MC in the country what you want to do. When I'm behind the mic, there's a lot want to talk, and as far as spiritual matters is concerned, because I'm a believer, I need to tell people that hope is not lost all.
Yes.
We're here to encourage and of course to tell people it's doable, and all above all, God is in control of every other thing.
Yes. Many of us are actually limited with our sight, and you believe that you're able to do most of these things, clean your house, prepare your day, because you're able, to have basically you have the vision of sight. You have sight. So I am fascinated with the fact that you're able to prepare your own meal, you're able to iron and do all these things. That is beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me.
Oh my goodness. I'm a human being like you.
Yes.
The only thing that it's only that you have an ability to see me, but every other thing I just do just like you. And then don't forget that my disability is acquired. Therefore, meaning that previously I could cook. I could do everything. So just a matter of like a moment came, then the sight went, but again I had now to learn to do it in a better way. Now that I have disability, that I was like, now how do I do it? Now to answer your question, after acquiring this disability, There was a moment, of course, you could not accept yourself, like, why did this had to happen such a time, After that, I managed to get to Kenya Institute for the Blind. It's actually based around Wilson Airport. That was where I went for Maria program, where I took Braille, just to do Braille in English, mathematics, Swahili, and then we also had another subject called ADL. ADL is activities of daily living, where now your questions lies, like how do I do things. Then we have another one called orientation and mobility, which could help me to use a white cane. What I'm using today is a white cane. Other people could just say this is a walking stick, but it is not a walking stick. Now ADL, activities of daily living, it's where I could learn, like, how do I cook, how do I do my laundry, how do I, like, polish my shoes, how do I know my shirt is clean, how do I know that I want to put maybe a blue trouser, which shoes I want to use today, or rather how do I identify all these things? How can I spread my bed? So today what I can do, probably maybe in Kenyan roads, it's only driving. But if it's an open place, I want to drive, so there's nothing I can do.
That is amazing.
Yes.
And this particular course that you're talking about, is it accessible to every other Kenyan, a common Kenyan? Is it affordable?
Yes, I can say it is affordable, because one, I believe it should start from the goodwill. If you have a goodwill that you need to learn, it's affordable.
Yes.
And then I believe we come from a society that we belong, that we've got parents, we've got brothers and sisters. You see, if you cannot empower this person, literally that means, you don't want this person to live. So when we have a goodwill, the society is there, and they'll always help you get to school. So the school fees is not very cheap, but it's affordable, because one thing is, so long as you've been enrolled and you paid some amount, the institution itself could help you to get some other let me say funds from the National Council for People with Disability, and then from there you want to take up your program.
Okay.
Yes.
Allow me to ask you talked about being in that space where you are not able to accept this situation, ama hii circumstance imekupata. Do we have like sessions that people are taken through for you to now accept that you have to start living like this? Just the classes you've mentioned for us?
Well, thank you so much. The same institution does a lot of like empowering, a lot of counseling. But before I joined there, my church, I thank God for my church system so much, because it did a lot in terms of working with me over the journey. Because I want to tell you, like, accepting yourself, it's not easy, because it's something that we've just got on the way, that you were never born with it. So, like, how do I accept it? That maybe at my prime age, when I feel like I need to do 1, 2, 3, so that I can maybe gather for my family, it is not something easy. But I want to tell you, if you don't have a good supportive system, you want to break.
Yes. You
want to break completely. And I remember after getting these, of course, there was a moment of, like, I was not accepting myself for about 1 year plus about 1 year and 4 months. Like, I could not accept myself completely. I was very bitter with everybody and everything around me. I thank God that when I got a moment to get to the institution, that's when I was taken through the therapy, and of course trying to be like, man, you have a right to live.
Yes.
And of course, pole, I'm here today to give these testimonies.
Amen.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And before we went, when we went on that particular break, I remember just asking you how we as a society are not there yet, where I would say that we are educated on how to act around persons with disabilities. How would you just explain to us how this works? Because most of the times you'd find that people who are abled differently, when you interact with them, kidogo unaogopa, you might offend them with what you do or what you say. And yes, as a society tunaweza sema tujafika hapo bado. When I meet someone with disabilities or a disability, I'm not able to know how to act. Like, can you educate us kidogo na hapo, au kama Kenya society tumefika wapi?
Wow, so hizo trainings by then alipisha. So
mimi nimeweza kuchukua za free kidogo tu.
But anyway, for the sake of our PAL listeners, there is I think what the society is lacking today, two things, and put them in bold. it's just a goodwill and a being intentional towards people with disability. Because when I'm a visually impaired person, I belong to a family.
Yes.
I belong to a clan, I belong to a certain region, I belong to a certain county. Why should I be taken as a vulnerable person that I cannot be involved maybe in the let's say call any discussion within the community? Like I'm not consulted, because people like, I mean, unamuuliza ya nini? You cannot even read and sign, you know. But people forget that it's only the sight, but the rest of the brains are sharp. Kwanza brain zangu ziko sharp kuliko mse mwenye, like, I mean, you don't need to consult these people.
Nitambia poa.
And in Pole, like, that's the truth.
Yes, yes.
And one thing I want to say, the government today is doing a lot through different stakeholders, but still it has not gone down to the villages where we come from. You know, we just met in Nairobi, and I thank God that maybe I had exposure there before, so I know these institutions were there. But I'm just trying to imagine a person who's never been to Nairobi. He's got this disability, who doesn't have even the identity card just to identify this person, that this is a person with a disability. That one itself, it's just a big thing. Then there's also, just as I mentioned, this thing, the word goodwill and being intentional is just a big thing, because we have a very big right to education. We have a very big right to health. We have a very big right for freedom of expression and every other thing. But we just choose willingly that let me not involve this person. Probably in terms of mobility is going to be a challenge. Who is going to, like, because they don't have a braille materials that maybe I want to read, so that probably after reading I could always give my feedback. So they just choose like no, let's just neglect this.
But
so
would you say sometimes it's because as a person who's interacting with someone with disability, I am trying to be compassionate, I'm trying to be kind, and sometimes it's interpreted wrongly, but on my end I'm actually trying to be very kind and compassionate?
Well, one thing I want to tell you, we're human beings.
Yes.
And a person with a disability is entitled to be loved, to be shown love. I mean, if you meet me on the way, you know, I'm a person using a white cane. You don't care, like, is this person in need of any assistance? Instead, you just gonga me na shoulder yako, you just go. I'm coming, like somebody's holding me, or accidentally I've hit you. What comes first in Matusi? Kwani mtu mrefu wewe na sasa umelewa sasa mchana. I mean, by the time you're like realizing kumbe mtu aoni, you're like, oh my goodness, ushani tu tayari. And then you're like seeing the other. Why are we too fast to judge people? Why can't we like have just a minute, like, oh God, why is this guy hitting me? Why can't we have that courtesy? We don't have courtesy to people with disability. But then you see, that's why we outside here. And I thank God for Power Radio that has given us an opportunity to say lazima kitaeleweka. We don't have like we need to wash. It's either you are there or not.
Or we can't wash.
Not at all. Okay. Not at all. Because we have a right to everything. Yes.
And I just can't offer my help. I also need to ask if it's okay for me to offer the help.
Well, it's allowed. But it depends again, how do you want to give me your offer? The first thing is, probably if you've met me maybe standing on the road, that one does not tell you that I need your help. But how do you like engage me in a manner that at the end of the day I'm going to give you a consent that I need your help? Probably you'll come, like introduce yourself. Like, hi, because I'm a man, you definitely say like, good afternoon, sir, good morning, sir. My name is Sharon, and I could maybe wish to help you. Do you need any other help? Do you need to cross? Then I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll be grateful. But you see, don't come just like automatically. You just feel like ni lazima mtu anafaa kuvuka barabara. Who told you that I need to cross? I'm waiting for my cab. I'm waiting for my driver to come and pick me go.
Yes.
So there's that narrative, like, you know, have a moment, have courtesy. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. Can I help you? Because Kenyans, yani sisi tunaenda na we are always on the move.
Tunakimbianga.
Ndio sasa. But I welcome your help. If you see any person with the disability, I'll just a minute. Like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. I could wish to help you.
Yes.
Are you willing? So the person, and you realize we are very courteous people. You know, the only thing we need to be accommodated. Why should I mean, Eugene excuse unatumianga wapi? You only use it when you're in court, like, excuse me, allow me pass to the other side.
We even use it wrongly. Excuse me, Peter.
Yeah, I'm okay, hospital, excuse me, mgonjwa. No, we are human beings. We absolutely need that courtesy.
Yes.
So kuja vizuri, I'll tell you nahitaji usaidizi, but you come like unakuja unataka kushika white cane yangu, I'll tell you I'm sorry, I don't need your help.
Yes.
And of course that time it will sound that we are rude, but in the real sense, how did you approach me?
It's the approach, it really matters.
Exactly.
Okay. And I just want us to talk about maendeleo ya walemavu. My question for you right now would be, have you been able to create awareness and just foster inclusivity for persons with disabilities in the country?
Wow, thank you so very much.
Yes.
The answer I want to give, it's absolutely yes.
Yes.
One thing allow me say about maendeleo walemavu. Why maendeleo walemavu? You know, people look at it, or rather it sounds so like, why maendeleo walemavu? You know, if you say it in English, probably what you please say about it in English?
Unataka nichome hapa kwa radio, si ndio?
Please choma tu. I wanna takurekebisha.
Sitaki kuchoma.
So maendeleo literally it's the progress of the PWDs.
Yes.
Now, I thought of it like, why do I need to call it an English name, whereas people back in the society, pale chini ushagondani pale mtaa kabisa, people don't understand if I call it maybe an English name.
Yes.
But if I call it maendeleo ya walemavu, it's easy for them to understand. One thing I want to confess right now, maendeleo ya walemavu organization is awaiting accreditation from the NGOs board.
Yes.
And when I thought of this, I was not alone. We were quite a number of good people. We had the different types of PWDs, and I felt like it's high time that we need to raise to an occasion and make progress as far as the PWDs are concerned. Now, currently today, we have organizations that work for PWDs, and those people work for these organizations. But you realize the people who are leading these organizations, they're not PWDs.
Yes.
So how do you say you are representing PWDs and yet you don't know where my foot is paining? So I thought it could be wise for us just to call a spade a spade. I preach water, I drink water. So I came when I sat down and I felt like it's high time we need to have the maendeleo walemavu organization. Maendeleo walemavu organization, part of what it does, I said there early, it's advocacy, and inclusion is something that we cannot avoid. Yes. Today. That is a conversation that we have in church, in hotels, call it in schools, anywhere. Just try to imagine a scenario. This is a person who is using a wheelchair, is going to the hospital. The hospital doesn't have a ramp. Yes. How do you expect this person to access the service in the hospital? Now, this is a person with who is a physical or rather short stature. Then umeleta gari yenye hata kijaribu kuraise mguu, I mean like where the door is almost half of the person, now just above the chest. So how do you accommodate these people? Yes. So a moment came like all PWDs have got a very special treatment that need to be given. So what is the reasonable accommodation do you give these people? And I can tell you the reasonable accommodation you give to these people, it differs from one person to the other. So the only thing is now we need to talk about here is how do we remain inclusive as much as possible. Yes. That is the organizations and as a community. For example, there's what we call what has been going around by the government, like public participation about the housing thing. Now, at what point do you include these PWDs? Yes. You're building houses, mali tunasema maybe slums. I mean, did you really, maybe at one point accommodate these people? Like, look here, guys, we need all PWDs. We need to understand even the landscape. Like, how do we do it? How can we do this so that a person who is visually impaired, a time comes when I don't have a guide.
Yes.
But I need to move out of the house. I need to come to Nairobi. I need to come to Power Radio for this such a program. So how do I get from the house to the stage if the road is not even? Because the road should have what we call the walking paths,
Yes.
or rather it should have what we call shorelines, so that is this for me to use my white cane, just trying to clear the way as I get to the stage. But you realize today, I mean, it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. You cannot.
And you
No.
just mentioning that, does it show that the government is also like falling short in including persons with disabilities in so many areas in the country?
Well, I can't say not per se, because one thing I want to say, the President of the Republic of Kenya today, that is Our Excellency William Ruto,
Yes.
is a person who is very passionate with people with disability. I remember myself and a very big group in Nairobi and other quarters, we really said that we need to vote for this government to come in, or rather President Ruto to come in, because we had one-on-one moments talking to him, like what do we need. I remember in several occasions we had meetings in Karen, formerly his residence, and also at a race course. We said what we need. We sat with him for over 4 hours, and then from there the service charter, the disability charter was like it need to be signed. This is what we're going to do when we're coming to power. I thank God that God gave him that opportunity to come to power.
Yes.
But as we speak today, all the information we had given, all the suggestions we had given, they've not been signed to become a disability charter. And that's what we are saying. It is not that the government does not know what we want.
Yes.
I think, just as like I said earlier, it's just the goodwill and the being intentional about this. Because one thing I want to tell you, God forbid, the late President Elmio Stanley Moi Kibaki, why did we, the Act of Disability Act had to be implemented, or rather came to play? It's because during his campaign, he actually got an accident. He was doing his campaign on a wheelchair. So, I mean, that's when they came to realize, oh my goodness, life can just change, just like you, it's just a twinkle of an eye.
Yes.
Then it changes your status, it changes your name. I mean, that time ulikuwa like unaonekana ni ule mse, but today unaita ni kipofu, ni kiziwi, ni kiwete. It's just, actually, one of the trainings that we usually don't tell people, disability is a club that you want to join anytime. If you don't allow me and my colleagues who are already in this club to make it better for you, because one thing I want to tell you, Sharon, at one point you must join this club, either by age, either by accident, or in your family of people who've got this disability.
Yes.
So how do you treat these people? So one thing we want to do as Maendeleo Ulemavu organization, in partnership with so many other organizations, it is we are creating a lot of workshops and of course trainings, like, and see like how do we train these people. And I can tell you, people in the corporate, actually they are so adamant. I'm sorry to say this, but I need to say this black and white. They're so adamant because this is a CEO of an organization. This is a CEO of a parastatal. This guy, I mean, yeye ni asubuhi kubebwa na gari, is dropped in the office, kwa lift, kwa ofisi, back to the basement, kwa gari, off he goes. But he doesn't know, like, watu, like, maybe when he's coming to the, anakuja kwa ofisi, this is a person who need to cross the road. This is a visually impaired person. I've stood somewhere, I need to cross the other road, the other side of the road. So I've started like now, in mature one step, the second step, the guy is hooting at me. So for God's sake, do you see even the colors that colors go kwa white cane? What does it mean? There is red. To you, what is it? Kwani ni Valentine too? Oh my God. So the thing is, people, they've decided like, I don't care. Hadi okay, just say jina ngine wanasema, okay, that's what, ukiwa hiyo situation, that's when you realize, oh my goodness, there is a person I ever saw who was a visually impaired person. When I was going to the office, I just looked at this person. What if you could spare just a second or 40 seconds just to allow this person cross, and then you go?
Would you think that also just having education forums, educating people on how to act, on how to interact with persons with disabilities would probably help in this area?
Absolutely. I thank God that myself, as a Maendeleo Ulemavu organization, and at the National Council with other stakeholders, that we are doing this thing together. We've always written letters and of course sought to do inclusion trainings. Though there are people very passionate, there are people very much willing, like, let's know, like, how do we give a reasonable accommodation. There are people who've done it. So quite a number of let me say private organizations, they are very much willing to know, like, how can we help you, how do we remain inclusive. We've always done that. But again, there are those people who are like, I mean, what for? You see, when for example, when I was coming over this side, people see me walking with a white cane. What comes first in your mind? This is a blind person, probably he's come to sort for coins, or he's come just to be kupatiwa maybe kitu kidogo. But I told you, probably I've come like to seek for partnership. That my organization with the PAL need to work for I mean, to work together so that we can educate the society.
Yes.
So there is a lot we're doing, and I can say, as far as disability is concerned, it is something that we cannot run away from.
Yes.
We must be very intentional, and we must, like, you know, we are here. We're here. And we got one thing I want to tell you, these PWDs are very sharp people.
Yes.
Are very sharp people. I tell you today, if you need an accountant, get a visually impaired accountant guy. Hakuna bobu utapoteta moja.
I wanted to talk about that, so hold on to that thought. Tumefika hiyo place tunasema we are accommodating persons with disabilities.
Not at all.
Completely?
Not at all.
Zero?
Not at all.
Oh.
The Constitution of Kenya today is very clear that every organization, either public or private, they should give at least 5% opportunities to people with disability. For example, it's very practical. Here in Power Radio, how many opportunities do you have for people with disability?
You want me to answer that?
Okay, don't answer. That's an answer. That's the reason it's an answer itself. But one thing I want to say, I think just the government has decided intentionally not to do this, because one, the government has all the machineries. It has a right to supervise these organizations, these private organizations. Upon registration, I mean, it's very clear that people with disability have got equal opportunities. They need to be given, to work, but it's not there.
Yes.
The government, call it the county governments. It is within the statutes that they need to have representation of PWDs. But I mean, go county by county, see who are the people are there. Unapata maybe the person who is God forbid, because they're also PWDs, unapata maybe mtu alikata makucha moja ilikatwa ama one finger is not there. He's time to be a PWD, which is fine. But what of these other PWDs? So one thing I want to say is, there is a law. You know, Kenya, we have good laws, you know, but we fail to implement them. I wish that it's high time that the private sector need to raise to an occasion and even challenge the government, that the fact that the government, you people are here to help us go through this journey, you're not implementing this. So therefore, that's why you see private organizations and the disability organizations are coming together, working together, so that at least we could see how best can we accommodate these people.
Yes.
Because if it means to have the knowledge, we have it. If it means to have the experience, we have it. So it's only that people will look at it like, now, this is a physically challenged person. For this person to move from one place to the other, because there are those people, like, they must have a guide. Like, for example, the deaf brothers and sisters, they need a sign language interpreters. Like the front office of the organization, a person who is seated just actually at the reception, you know, they don't know even sign language interpreters. God forbid, a client is coming, I need services at Power Radio. Do you have a personnel who could come and interact with this deaf person? The good answer is well known to you.
Yes,
but
it is.
One thing is, we need to have this disability knowledge, and we need to be very much ready to employ these people. I can tell you today, there are quite a number of expertise in PWDs.
Yes.
It's only that people, like, you know, the question you always ask me, wako wapi? You know, they are there. But you don't just go to the street and kuuliza and say, where? No. We have registered organizations. They've got data indicating very clear that I've got Joshua, who is an accountant, who's done to this level. I've got this person who's done secretarial. I've got this one who's done banking. I've got this who is best in marketing, who is best in PR. I mean,
so if I'm an employer right now and I want to employ someone with a disability, I'll have to go to these organizations.
There are quite a number. I can just mention a few.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is what you call there's this organization we call Next Step Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just along Uyakwe, next to Safaricom head office. I mean, almost, let me say, quite a number of staffs. They're PWDs. There is this supermarket in Isli, I forgot its name. Almost 90% of its workers,
yes,
they are deaf people.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Yes.
And we have so many organizations, even hospitality industry. I mean, they have it. But you see now, what informs these organizations that they need to have these personnels? One, people don't know that when you employ a person with disability in your organization, there is some stipend that come from the government. There is some tax exemption that you will be exempted, because one, you are trying to upload the law. Number two, this person, because it's a PWD, is tax exempted, so there is that incentives that comes along with you employing the person with disability. So people look at our ability, so much than like, what is this person going to bring on the table?
Yes.
Yeah. So opportunities are there, but mazezi mekanyagiwa.
Natufanyi poa.
Sio vizuri kabisa. And even before the eyes of the Lord, we're human beings, we deserve the same opportunities, but we just choose like not to give a moment for these people to work. And
but that is why we have people like you, organizations like Maendeleo ya Walemavu, just empowering us, and we're going to improve and improve and improve. Yes. Yeah. And I have a question for you from one of our listeners. The question is, in Kenya, what would you say is the most important progress you've witnessed in implementing disability-sensitive policies?
Disability policies?
Yes, sensitive policies.
One thing I want to say, as far as policies implementations are concerned, I can rate out of 10, I want to give it a genuine 4.
Why?
Because disability policies are there.
Yes.
But do we uphold them? I mean, do we uphold them in the sense that they are there? We've always had workshops, seminars, and like this, what we need to do. We've had different stakeholders coming, giving different ideas, and then we are like, yeah, as far as the policy implementations are concerned, I mean, we are still not at par.
Yes.
So still, I'm just going back to the same words I used. Like, we are lacking the goodwill and being intentional towards this, because when the government, private sectors could always be positive about this policy implementation, we'll always be there. So we are there. I mean, kidogo. We just choose not to, because Kenyans, we are very sensitive about this, but at times we just like, okay, I'll give it a shot next time.
We're just doing our best, yeah?
Yeah.
Just doing our best to go to.
I mean, yeah, nivo tu like, ikinipata sawa. But, imagine a situation. Says you umeamka poa kutoka home, you've come to work. God forbid accident can happen. Ama wasana kuanga na heart attack, ama stroke imekupata. At the end of the day, it completely change your status. Now, how do you want the society? How do you want a person who's passing by? How do you want your boss in the office to give you reasonable accommodation? Because one, you were employed when you were physically fit, but God forbid something happened on the way. So how do you give? I mean, which reasonable accommodation do you give? Do you even mind like to know mbona leo Sharon amechelewa? The first thing is like kwanza kumkelelesha. Wewe, what is? No. Have a moment, for God's sake. This is just a human being like you. He deserves the best. She deserves the best. Have a moment like, excuse me, habari asubuhi mzuri, but today umechelewa kidogo. You realize this person will tell you, I'm very sorry, I had an attack on my way. An accident happened, and actually one of my leg is really, in pain. So, tuwe na utu.
Yes.
What we're lacking actually ni utu. But these things, hizi sheria zipo, sheria zimechapishwa, vitabu na kala mingi sana, lakini kuzifuata na kusema kwamba lazima zifanya kazi, hiyo kitambo tulisema tutakutana nao mbele.
We are Pearl Radio.